And we are live. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the music and social broadcast. It's our brand new series. And I'm super pumped. I'm super excited as I'm still trying to get my levels right here. My name is Dean, and I have been in this music space for a little bit, and I oftentimes meet great folks. I oftentimes meet great people. Um, I'm naturally a skeptical guy. I try to ask a bunch of questions. It's just natural. I don't know what to do with that. And so a year ago, more than a year ago, I think back in January of 2019, I met two amazing gentlemen back in Nashville. Um, so truth be told, and this is the first time I'm going to say the truth. So I was at work because I do have a 9 to 5 job, and so I was scheduled to go to work that afternoon, and did not go to work. I told my boss a lie. Oh my god! I'm not working there anymore. So, oh, I'm sorry. I lied to go to Nashville. I wanted to go to Nashville so bad. I went down there to a conference. It was doing some battle with Spotify and songwriters and whatnot, and it was amazing. I met two gentlemen, David and Mike from Crowd Music, and they started telling me about crowd music, and I started, asking a bunch of questions, and then they introduced Jojo Hill to me, and who I was familiar with a little bit, and long story short, man, we tried to get involved, and we invited David on the show over a year ago, and to my surprise, man, crowd music was legit. It's for real, and a lot has happened, and so now we're in this season, this pandemic season, and we discussed and we talked. And said, you know what, man, let's just get on the show and give the people an update. And just like the title says, man, how to make money online with crowd music. And whenever I have a guest, sometimes I don't just do the regular show. I just like to jump right in, to get to the meat, get to the matter. And we have David and Mike. Let me try to bring them in here, man. What's going on, David?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty
Good
good,
to
man.
see you.
Hey,
And,
Mike.
Mike.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
Woo, woo, woo.
We were a little nervous that my computer wasn't going to boot up fast enough, but we made it in.
You
That's
made it, man.
awesome.
Man, so Mike, I want to say welcome to the show. This is your
Thank you.
first time. This is David's second time. Shame on you, Mike.
It probably will not be Mike's last time either. You're going to want to have him
my
back a
God.
bunch.
Yeah, that would be amazing, man. Make sure you can hear me clearly. Sort of messing with my audio a little bit. Make sure that everybody can hear me nice and crisp. All right. Yeah. So I wanted to bring you guys on the show. Let me say hi to Lydia watching on YouTube. What's going on, Lydia? Thanks for tuning in. Lydia just released her single just a few days ago, and I'm gonna play it in the background in a little bit. It's an amazing record. So Lydia joined our coaching program that we launched back in November, and it
Nice.
lasted for 12 weeks. And she joined it. And at the end of it, man, she was able to put out a single. She's working on her EP, and we were just so happy and blessed that she joined our program. And to be honest with you, I'm really excited about how things turned out to be. So kudos to you, Lydia, on your brand new release. So, and it's a perfect time because I texted her and said, hey, you got to listen to this show, because it's very important for her to know what this is about. And so I want to dive right in. I got some amazing questions lined up. If you guys are watching on Facebook and YouTube, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are live tonight. How to make money online with crowd music. Before I dive into the questions, Mike, why don't you just paint a little picture about how you got your start in the music industry, your background a little bit, Mike.
Sure, absolutely. So I've been a guitar player my whole life. Well, whole life since I was 10. So,
Wow.
was involved as a guitar player, but really made my money and my career was in banking and finance. Spent time in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange trading floors and working in wealth management, and thought that was going to be, sort of my career and ride off into the sunset. And then my oldest daughter decided to move to Nashville about 7-8 years ago. Came down here, and protective Italian father, I just had to look at what was going on in the music business and how to help her make some connections. And as I started reading articles, very quickly I discovered how poorly music creators were being treated in the current economic model, meaning the streaming world that everybody has turned to, which is really just devolved out of piracy. Up until 1999, music was exclusive. You either listened to it on the radio and waited for it to come on the next time on the radio, or you went down to the record store and you bought a copy of the music. So Napster changed all that and literally destroyed the music industry overnight. Streaming sort of stepped into place, and the lie or the myth, depending on, how you want to look at it, that, artists have been, conditioned to believe is, well, you give your music away for free, essentially. Don't worry about the fact that, streaming pays you fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a penny.
Right.
Don't worry about that. You get 1 million streams, maybe you'll make $300. You might be able to buy a bag full of groceries, so, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna be your full-time career, getting, 1 million streams every month, which is very difficult to do, as I'm sure anyone that you talk to in the music industry can tell you.
Yes.
So looking at that, they were telling people, you need to go out and you need to, do live performances. That's where you're going to make your money. So use the streaming to gain an audience that can listen to you for free, and then go out and play live venues. Well, two problems with that. One, there's over 24,000 songs uploaded to all the streaming services every single day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. If you look at the amount of video content that's uploaded to YouTube, because everyone says, well, you got to put YouTube videos out and you got to spend thousands of dollars creating your YouTube video. So you put that YouTube video out. YouTube says they receive approximately 500 hours worth of content every single hour of the day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of content. Basically, they're getting the amount of music or the amount of video content total, and that's not all music, but it's in there in the mix. So if you look at the amount that's uploaded every single day onto YouTube, at this point, it's running somewhere around 82 years worth of video content are uploaded every single day. And that's if you don't watch any commercials, because the commercials doesn't factor into that time. So unless you have a huge advertising or marketing budget, forget about, being discovered. I mean, maybe it's the needle in the haystack and, somebody trips across your thing and it gets out there. But, by and large, there's a ton of talented people that, they've got to do something, crazy, stupid on, a video or on TikTok or, wherever they want to go to do that, to try and gain attention, not with their music, which is frustrating when there's so many great artists out there. So, looking at this, looking at the problems that were created in the industry, was looking for a solution. And again, going back, I was trying to help my daughter out and trying to help her, with building her fan base, her following as she was just starting out. And then also simultaneously looking on the other side going, what the heck's wrong in the industry? I mean, why aren't the labels doing anything about this? Why isn't somebody doing something about this? And for about 3 years, I was just sort of, perplexed on this side, trying to help her along on the other side. Mutual friend connected me with David, who's a fantastic producer. For those of you out there who don't know who David Browning is, he's the guy that discovered Katy Perry. He's worked with a massive amount of, big name artists across the board for 25 years as a producer here in Nashville. David is amazing. If you get a chance to ever hear some of his work. He's on top of it. So anyhow,
he's a superstar.
He is a superstar in sheep's clothing. You never know it. He is crowd music's international sex symbol, regionally famous.
Oh my goodness. I didn't expect that.
You're on mute, David.
Oh, David, your mic is muted.
David, you're muted.
Your mic is muted, David. We can hear you.
He can't defend himself. This is good.
Yeah. David, what do you say for yourself? Can't hear you, David. Can't hear you. You may have to go on and come back in. Yeah. So, all right, Mike. So that's interesting, man. That's, my gosh,
Yeah.
that's a lot of content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hourly. So you got your start. You kind of like deviated from what you kind of like set out to do at first.
Right.
And now here you are. Your daughter wanted to move to Nashville,
Right.
and now she is fully settled. And so fast forward, you are now a part of crowd music. Welcome back, David.
Yeah, now I can talk and defend myself now.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Thank God I got those few things in before he came back.
Yeah.
Dean, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Oh man, I feel like I'm on one of those old game shows where they put the headphones on and you listen to nice music and they do the answers or the questions. Yeah.
21 questions.
So
Yeah.
David, let's take 30 seconds and just tell, like, how did you get your start in the music industry?
Yeah, I moved to Nashville in the mid '90s from Missouri. I had lived up there my whole life. I got started kind of as a touring keyboardist for a lot of different contemporary Christian music acts. At that point, then I started working, doing publishing demos for different publishers here in town, which in turn allowed me to start doing more writing, working on different albums, programming on albums, getting songs cut on albums. Then all of a sudden I started, developing Katy Perry. I'd fly to LA and do Diane Warren's demos, one of the biggest songwriters of her day.
Wow.
And then they'd fly me out to New York to work on Sony artists and different things like that. So it's been a wild ride. But in the meantime, I went from, having those really great, lucrative, wonderful experiences in the music industry in the 90s to all of a sudden having to weather the storm of the invention of the MP3 and piracy and all those things, and reinventing, maneuvering, trying to survive, trying to feed a family, all that. And so when Mike and I were able to get together, my heart was figuring out there's got to be another way to make money than just the end product. How do you deepen a relationship between artists and fans in a way that's never been done before? So when Mike called me and said, we're going to go have lunch, and he came in, literally, it was like 18 seconds into his speech of what he was doing, I just started laughing. And he was kind of like, what? I said, okay, just keep going. And finally, when he finished, I'm like, you have no idea what you just expressed is something that I've had a heart for a long time. And he's like, well, you want to do this together? I'm like, when do we start? So it's truly something that's been birthed, in my heart for a long time. Mike happened to be the guy who has the wisdom and the knowledge of numbers, how to put the economy together of the whole thing. And I think it's beautiful because we each kind of work in our own lane, me coming from the music side and having those types of relationships, and Mike bringing the wisdom of economy that our music industry really doesn't have when it comes down to it. And so it's a perfect marriage and just so much fun. And we're getting ready to change a lot of lives in a lot of different ways. It's going to be spectacular.
I'm super stoked, super excited. Let's jump right in and just, so why did you decide on a model like that pays fans? You have so many different platforms, from YouTube to Spotify, you name it. Why did you decide on that type of model to pay fans? Because that's kind of like unheard of. You want to take that, Mike?
I'm up there.
Oh,
is there some music going in the background?
There, yeah.
I'm hearing like music in my.
Yes.
Okay, that was intentional. Okay. It was just a little high.
Yeah, just
Oh
a little.
yeah, sorry, I'll turn it down.
No problem.
My
So,
bad.
yeah. So basically, what happened is I was, saying earlier, going through this 3-year process of trying to understand what was happening in the industry and trying to help my daughter grow a fan base.
Yeah.
And one day I just said, it's too bad you can't just pay your fans to help promote your music. And as soon as I said that, I was like, well, why can't you? And what I realized, as I started going through this is the problem in the industry, and you can go, this is going back 3-4 years ago, everybody was on the internet, all these, musicians and songwriters, particularly, and producers, all complaining about, how terrible the Spotify streaming model paid them.
Right.
And there was always people in these forums saying, we just need to band together and take down our music, and then they'll have to pay us for it. And realistically, that's never going to happen. You're never going to have, everybody take it down all at once. But I said, what if you could grow that incrementally? Because the reality is you don't need a large audience to buy it. You just need exclusive music out there. I always use Taylor. Yeah, Taylor Swift is like the best example because, she's always taken a stand for, I'm going to put out exclusive music and my fans have to buy it. And she'll, sell millions and millions of copies. And when that slows off, she'll turn around, she'll say, okay, now I'll put it out on the streaming platforms. But it's almost like a movie theater. You go and you see the trailers at a movie. What happens? You go, I got to see that one on the big screen.
That's right.
Next one comes out, you go, I'll wait that I can come out and I can rent it, or maybe I'll buy it on DVD. And then there's the other ones that you go, I'll wait for Netflix. I'll wait for my streaming service. And then there's other ones that you go, if it's on free TV, maybe I'll watch it on CBS Sunday night at the movies, which they're bringing back, by the way. I just saw that advertised the other day. So
that's awesome.
So you kind of have that, that flow going for a movie, but you don't have that in the music community. And we said, well, why don't you have that? Everyone goes, yeah, Taylor Swift, she can sell millions of copies because she has a fan base.
Yes.
We said, yeah, she's got a crowd. What if we created a crowd of people that would buy enough exclusive music and be willing to support artists, that artists would come over there and go, well, hey, I'll pre-release my music here first before I put it out on the other services. So that all works tremendously well with somewhere between 1 to 10% of just those that currently pay for their music streaming subscription services. So it's not like, there's 5.3 billion people on the planet with one of these that listen to music.
Smartphone, my gosh.
And those only came around in 2007 after the industry was already destroyed.
Yes.
So you look at that, you go, there's 5.3 billion customers that would buy music from their favorite artists. When I first had this idea, I went to my nieces who were 19 and 21 at the time. And I said, would you come to a website and buy music from, say 20 songs a month from different artists that you didn't know who they were, but they were really phenomenal. As long as it's, phenomenal music, would you buy $20 worth of music to help support them? They were like, no, Uncle Mike, I wouldn't. I was like, I didn't think you would. I said, but let me ask you this. I said, who's your favorite artist? Both of them, Jason Derulo. I said, perfect. Jason Derulo comes out next week and he says, hey, I'm going to be releasing a new album next month. 10 songs, 7 of them are going to be on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and everywhere where you currently listen to your music.
Yes.
But 3 of my best songs are going to be over on this new platform exclusively called Crowd Music. They're $1 each. I said, are you going to spend $3 and buy those 3 songs? They're like, heck yes. We spend more than that on a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Right.
Exactly. So if you can make the music exclusive, people will come and buy it. So, and again, we don't need a large portion. A 1 to 10% of those paying for streaming is, somewhere between 5 million and 50 million people on our platform, which is really nothing. So when we looked at that, we said, okay, so how do you get those people over here first to start that process?
Right.
The way you go about doing that is pay them. Basically, up until 1999, going back to what was going on previously in the music world, when an artist got a record deal and they thought that was, the pinnacle they were shooting for every $1, an artist would make somewhere between 4 to 7 cents out of the dollar. The rest of it is basically going to marketing and promotion and advertising and billboards and everything else that they had to put out there. And then the label was taking its profit and paying its shareholders. And then the artist got that small little fraction, which was a whole lot bigger than what they get today. But it was still small relative to the dollar that was being spent. Right. We said, what if we take that dollar, pay the artist 40 cents, basically 10 times what they used to make, and that's going to go to their whole creative team. So it's the artist, songwriter, producer, record label, publisher, whoever owns that content. They're going to get 40 cents out of that. The next 40 cents that would have been spent on advertising. Mm-hmm. Well, who does the advertising today? A new song comes out. What do you do with it? You find a song, you discover it, you're sharing it with all your friends. So why aren't we paying you? Because you're sharing it with all your friends saying, hey, you got to check out this new song. Yes. So that's what Crowd's doing. We're paying 40 cents to the artist, paying 40 cents is going out to the fans in the crowd, and the company keeps 20 cents to run and grow the platform. It's really pretty simple. And that was the thing that made me scratch my head, and I went, okay, these numbers all make sense. Why isn't anybody doing this? And that's when I called David up and said, hey, I need someone who understands the music industry better than I do, who's been entrenched in this. What am I missing here?
Yeah. David, would you jump in and tell us when would fans start making money, like paint a picture of that whole process?
Yeah, sure. So here's where we pivoted a little bit in our approach. We want everybody to have the opportunity to, kind of, we call it building your crowd. For artists, a lot of times what they do when they play a show, they try to get their email list. They try to capture the opportunity to have communication with the fans that are at show to show to show to show, Right. So we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it electronically. We're tagging these folks. So let's say I'm an artist. I put out a song exclusively with Crowd, and all of a sudden people are purchasing this song. Great. As they are purchasing that song, they become a part of my crowd. So at that point, I have the opportunity as they purchase other songs on the platform, be it, let's say I'm a pop artist, maybe it's country, maybe it's rap, hip hop, new age, classical, polka, whatever it is, I'm making a small fraction of income off of each and every one of those purchases. The cool thing is we give that opportunity to the fans. So let's say Mike is a fan of David's music. Mike says, oh my goodness, here's a great new song by David. I get on Facebook, I post about it. You guys have got to hear this great new tune by David. Here's a link to go get it now. If people use that link, they go buy my music. Awesome. I'm making more money. But the cool thing is Mike, as a fan, is now getting 10% off of each one of those purchases in his own pocket. So in the traditional environment, I could go to you, Dean, and be like, dude, have you heard the latest tune by Mike? And you're like, no. And I'm like, dude, you got to go check it out and get the whole record. And you go and you listen, you love it, you buy the album. I'm just a good friend. Awesome. That's cool. Right. So in our system, I come to you and I say, dude, have you heard the latest album by Mike? You should really go buy it and stuff. Okay, awesome. Hey, here's a link to get you straight there to do it. Awesome. You buy it. Now Mike's making money. You're happy with the purchase. I'm a good friend. But I'm putting some money in my pocket for being the nice guy to tell you about it. That's how Crowd works in a nutshell. And it's amazing. It's in essence for the artist, it's like having a paid street team. And for the first time ever, fans have the opportunity to do what they're already doing for free and now capitalize on it.
That to me is amazing. The fact that you can share the news, share the information with someone and say, hey, have you checked out this song by Lydia? But not only that, you can be sort of compensated for doing that. That's right. To me is sick. Now, talk to us about everything takes work. Everything takes commitment. So let's jump into the next part. Talk to us about the commitment between the artists and the fans. How does that part work? And is there a sign-up fee?
That's the great thing about this. So as we started out, and David mentioned we pivoted a little bit, there used to be a sign-up fee involved in it, but that was a stumbling block for a lot of people. and we knew we had to pivot and change. We also knew we needed to get a mobile app created. And part of all this was a result of that this is a grassroots kind of movement where we really needed to get fans and artists on board and build this community around us to help support this thing. Because if we had gone to Wall Street and venture capitalists to raise money for this, which I came out of that world, remember, we knew that once this became successful, it would take its ride up. And at some point, all businesses plateau. Doesn't matter if you're Apple or any other company out there. At some point, sales kind of, they don't take this meteoric. I can't say the word tonight. They can't take this straight up moonshot.
Using your big words again. You
meteoric.
Meteoric. There
Meteoric.
Ding, 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 ding.
As long as we don't go mediocric,
don't say that.
So not every company is going to do that indefinitely. You have that shot up, but at some point it starts to taper off and plateau. And what Wall Street does in those situations is Wall Street's a quarter to quarter animal. They always go, what have you done for me lately? They don't care that you've been putting money in their pocket for 10, 15, 20 years. At some point they go, hey, last quarter profits were down. We need to boost profits this next quarter, or we're going to lose our investors, our shareholders. So we need to take care of the shareholders. Why are we paying the artists so much anyway? And so it would go back to ground zero eventually if we put it in the hands of the thieves on Wall Street. It's just the truth of the matter.
Wow.
So we said, we got to create this in a way that we could do that. And that was the reason, as people were joining early on, they were actually paying a fee to get in, essentially. They were purchasing, they got a thank you package of songs, so they got something for that. But that was part of what we thought would help build this. We've since changed directions. We decided, okay, let's get the people on board. Let's get a mobile app that's top notch that everybody can easily use to start sharing this and telling others. And so our app, we didn't even officially launch it. We just sort of soft launched it last week. So this interview is kind of timely for us.
Yeah.
It's something where I can simply go on this app. I can open the Crowd Music app. I can hit, and I can just show you here on this probably really quick.
Yeah, sure.
So if I open my Crowd Music app up, it'll come up like that. I don't know let me hold it there in front of the camera. It'll pull up, the songs that are in my library. If I slide over, you'll see it'll pull up a screen that'll say share down there.
Yes.
You can see that. If I tap that share button, it pulls up my share code.
Share code, yes.
I'm getting kind of a weird reflection off the screen here. Anyhow, I click that share button and it'll allow me to send a text, send an email, and I can just plug it right in and it says, hey, check out Crowd Music. Here's my referral code. And I can send people over there, and now they download the app for free. They're connected to my crowd.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Because I downloaded the app, I registered and everything, and I didn't, and I saw the code because when I signed up with you guys over a year ago, it was different. I used to have a URL, and I used to have the name of my company at the end of that URL. Right. But now it's a code, and I did see the code, so now I can sort of curate the message and send that out to people. So say for instance, Lydia's song, I can send that. How could I get that in the system and to share that song to fans? How does that process work?
Sure.
David, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and unlike other platforms, the cool thing about us is that we want to be kind of the champagne and caviar platform. We believe we'll leave the potato chips and soda pop to the other platforms, meaning that anybody and everybody can be on all the other platforms. With us, we do a really, high level process of kind of vetting the artist, making sure that it's quality content, making sure it's recorded well and all that.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
We lost David there.
We lost David.
There he is. He's back.
Welcome back. No, can't hear you.
we can see you.
We can see you.
Can't hear
bye,
you.
David. David is going through it tonight.
He is.
That is so amazing to me, Mike, because the fact that you can do that and by the way, that's my wife. Thank you, baby.
Ah.
Yeah. She's so supportive, man. I really appreciate her.
How do we say her name? Alafia?
Alafia.
Alafia. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Alafia.
Yeah. So that to me is amazing. Welcome back, David.
I'm so sorry. My
Oh,
wife keeps calling, wondering where dinner's at. So it's on me. My apologies.
You need to go.
Mike, did you take over, or am I still free to do that?
You're still free to do it. Jump in.
Okay, great. So yes, we vet the content very well. So let's say her song ends up on our platform. What you would do then is basically take your share code. It crafts a text or an email message or whatever it is, and then you can tag in there like, "Hey, go over here and check out this song," and direct people to buy it. Make sure you use the code at checkout and all that. It's really that simple. So as you find things, people come over, they check out the platform, they may like it. They may find other songs they like as well. Maybe you steer them there for one song and they don't really care for it, but they see 2 or 3 others they really love as well, and they still use your share code and buy those others. So it really is kind of an open-ended system, a lot of possibilities, a lot of great ways to get credit for things and to share with others.
Let's talk more about exclusivity. So her song is already released, obviously, Apple Music, blah, blah, blah. Do you still take those artists, or you want exclusivity on your platform?
Well, it doesn't benefit the artist a whole lot when they've already released it someplace else. It's like saying, hey, I'm going to put my brand new movie out on Netflix and free TV, and I'm going to tell everybody to go watch it over there. All my fans and followers, hey, go watch it over there. And then I'm going to wait a couple months and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to put my movie over in the movie theater now for $10 a ticket. Come see it in the theater. And people, there might be a few of your friends that go, yeah, it'd be nice to see it on the big screen, but I've got a pretty big screen in my living room and I don't have to put up with people, throwing popcorn.
That's a beautiful analogy, Mike.
Yeah. So it's not that we won't. And what we've done for artists, another sort of shift that we made is, the artist needs to have something exclusive on the platform in order to attract their fans over. But as long as they're putting something exclusive on that's good, we'll also take their other music that's already out there, because much of what we're finding is the person that comes to our platform, they want to support music, they're willing to buy that music from their artist, and they're going, hey, you know what? I would buy all the rest of their music. And it's like, well, you could go get it for free over there. Like, no, I don't mind supporting the artist. I mean, $10 for an album, I mean, I know because they're coming to the website, there's enough explanation in there that the general public needs to know. And as they start to understand the value of the music that they enjoy, and they start to understand that, hey, the people that are creating this aren't getting paid. I thought if you got 1 million streams, like, where's the Learjet?
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, I mean, David uses the numbers. I think it's something like, man, David's got his assistant bringing him dinner now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I'm a busy man. Yeah. It's crazy.
What is it?
Crazy.
It's something like 264,000 streams are needed for an artist every single month. So for an artist to have, basically 3 million streams a year in order to make minimum wage. So basically,
average artists won't even get that. Like just the mom and pop and the local artists, they won't
exactly.
Get
I mean,
they don't even get 50,000 streams sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they get 10, 15,000. They're high-fiving themselves, which is, I mean, and they should. It's a huge accomplishment to stand out and get 10,000 streams, 20,000 streams, and if you get 50,000, oh my gosh!
All right, so let's talk about. All right, we're on the perfect topic: streaming, which we're in a streaming era right now.
Yeah.
You go open up the app, YouTube, and you stream the artist. And then the artist gets royalties. Provided that the artist has all of
we need to change we need to change that term though, Dean. Royalties is wrong. It should be poverties. They receive poverties.
Yeah, I like that. Poverty.
Come on, Like, like,
That's
are you
a
done?
good
I made
one.
that up live here on this show.
You said it first. You said it first. That's right.
Dean,
Mike,
you
Mike-
have the exclusive on that.
Hey, Mike, take it easy, man. I went to Berklee College of Music. This is my professor's book. Take it easy.
That's beautiful.
That's probably a first edition. You should call that professor up. Tell him he needs to put a second
Poverty.
edition on the
my
poverty.
gosh, look
section.
at you.
Poverty.
That's a good one.
Yep, yep.
That's a good
That's
one.
marvelous.
It to me
man.
is terrible. And the last time I checked, Tidal, who's not a part of the everyday conversation, they pay more than YouTube.
Oh,
you know, but I don't know why YouTube
Yeah,
pays so cheap. It bothers me. The fact that you need so many streams just to get a decent buck or two.
Right.
Now, so do you find that there will be a bigger struggle between, all right, should I stream her music or should I just purchase it through Crowd Music, even though it might be on Crowd Music exclusively? But what about the struggle of, well, why should I buy it when I can probably just get it for free? But I think what the handle that you're going to have over people is or the angle is the fact that it's exclusive on Crowd Music.
Exactly.
So that's why you're doing that.
Exactly.
See, I'm just getting it. I'm slow. I'm slow.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
just getting
Well,
it.
and here's the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
thing.
You-
Let me just say real quick. I mean, the one thing that a few artists are catching on to because of that whole YouTube thing, because they are used to spending the money on the video, even though they know they'll never recoup it.
Yes.
They kind of feel like that's something my fans still want, and I want to do that, and that's part of my artistry is doing that video. Well, on our platform, they can also release the video as well, but what they can do on top of that strategically is say, I'm going to put up a 30-second version or a 32-second version on YouTube. That is sort of the prelim into the song.
Okay.
And then, or maybe I put up 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of it. As long as somebody listens to your song on YouTube for 30 seconds, you get paid. If they cut off at 29 seconds, you're out.
Yes.
But if they listen to it for 30, 31, you're in.
Yes.
So get them past that point and then cut out to a blank screen that says, hey, see the full video, go buy the song now at crowdmusic.com. And that fan goes over there, they now buy the song. And I mean, they would need, what is it, 10,000? It's 10,000, or is it 100,000? It's 100,000 views they would need on YouTube to equate to that one sale that they would make on Crowd.
My goodness. Mike,
That's
you're pretty smart, man. You're well informed. That is crazy.
Oh, dude.
Man, that's crazy.
I got a light show going on over here. They're so excited in the background for me.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
I'm actually speechless by that because it's just so hard. There's so much noise going on, and you got to cut through the noise in order to just survive, in order to just get a couple streams.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, all right, so I keep using Lydia as my sort of person that I'm speaking about, and of course she's a real artist and whatnot, and I really would have loved on Crowd Music's platform, but for now you're saying if it's already public, then we have to find another song basically to make that exclusive to Crowd Music, correct?
Yeah, and we will.
If she gets approved.
Yeah, and we can consider things, sort of one-off. There's been artists that have had small followings. They're newer, to the market. They're trying to surface, and somebody brought them to us. Someone like yourself that knows good music and says, hey, I think this is good enough for you guys to consider. Yes. We'll listen to those, and if it's something where hey, maybe 500 people out there on the planet have heard this, but we've got millions of people coming to Crowd that have never heard it. Right. Well, to us, it doesn't necessarily have to remain, in a situation where, you released it and 500 people heard it. It's gonna, and I have no idea what her fan base size is, but for that new artist,
she just started. It's pretty small.
Yeah. So, so her couple hundred fans that could have supported her on our platform and helped her gain a little bit more visibility, they already have the song for free. So they're not going to come necessarily and buy that one. But if it's good enough, and it makes it sort of past our team and saying like, yeah, we all love this. We think it's great. We can still put that out there. It's just she's going to miss that little bit of extra push by her fans. So she's really going to want to look for the next song that she can bring over exclusive, where she can tell our fans, hey, this is where it's at. Come over here and buy this. And in the meantime, she can still actually start building her crowd by saying, hey, there's this new platform. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be releasing new music in the future on this. But right now, here's my link. Go check it out, download the app, and check out some of the other great artists over there. Because the cool thing for that artist like Lydia is whether those fans come back and buy her next song or not, as long as they got connected to her, anytime they buy any music on the Crowd platform in the future, Lydia's going to get paid for that because she's the person that brought them to Crowd.
And it's 70% goes to the artist, right?
40 cents. So 40 cents on the dollar goes to the artist. 40 cents gets paid out to the crowd, which the artist also participates in that as well. So let's think of it this way.
And the crowd is the fans.
Yeah, the crowd is the fans, and then the company keeps 20 cents to run and grow the platform, which is
freaking amazing to me.
Yeah. So think about it this way, and this is what we've started talking to artists about. So let's take an artist maybe that has the ability to reach 100,000 of their fans. Let's say they got an artist that has 1 million fans. Yeah. They go, I'm going to put an exclusive song out on Crowd. I'm going to sell it over here exclusively before I put it out. Maybe in 3 months or 6 months. Eventually, I'll put it on Spotify. But to start out, I'm going to put it over here. They tell their 1 million fans it's exclusive. They'll probably sell all their fans, but let's say they only sell 100,000. So 10% of their fans buy it. Well, on those 100,000 sales, they're making $40,000, which is, they would need,
my goodness,
something like roughly 55 million streams in order to make that kind of money on Spotify. So they're not going to get 55 million streams with their 1 million fans. So so get them over here. 10% of their fans buy it. They make 40,000. But more importantly, those 100,000 fans are now part of their crowd. And why that's important is 6 months from now, let's say they decide, hey, that worked pretty good. I've got a new song. I'm going to release it again. I'm going to go tell my 1 million fans to come over and buy it. Okay. Let's say the same 100,000 buy it again. This time, they're going to make 100,000 out of those 100,000 sales. They're going to make the same 40,000 as an artist, but they're going to make an additional 10,000 as a member of the crowd. And if you're the person that brought that artist to the table, you make 10,000 for bringing them to the crowd. So you get that share in the revenue. So we design it in a way that it's going to get folks like you who are touching and reaching a lot of artists to want to bring them to the table. And because it benefits them, it super benefits the artist, but there's something in it for you. In the current model, everywhere else out there, you've got an opportunity to take a Lydia and say, hey, I want to bring you and introduce you to this company, and they might help promote your music, and maybe they'll be successful with it, and maybe they won't. And whether they are or they aren't, you're never going to see anything other than Lydia coming back and going, hey, thanks for the introduction. I appreciate it. That's
wow. And is the earnings in perpetuity, like as far as fans and whatnot?
Yes. So once you're connected in the crowd to somebody, our system has you connected. Now, can people, dodge that system? We designed it in such a way that, it's not something where, I'm in Dean's crowd and I want to go jump into David's crowd. Yeah. If I do that, there's no financial benefit to me. In fact, it can potentially hurt me if I've already started getting a few people into my crowd.
And can you detect that? Can your software detect that?
The person will detect it themselves because we'll be paying out monthly. So, if I see that, hey, I've told, over the course of the past 6 months, let's say I told 20 people who also told a few people that are all part of my crowd. So I get a 10% basically, share of the revenue on the songs that get purchased. So I'm getting that 10% on that $1, so 10 cents. But I'm also sharing in the revenue that's created by my entire crowd, which that's the thing that's, unique and different. And so if I've already started building a crowd over here, well, if I jump over and start a new crowd, well, I'm starting at ground zero. So if I'm already seeing, hey, over here, I'm making 20, 25, $30 a month. Yeah. I've told a few people, do I really want to start over just to say I'm in somebody else? I mean, saying you're in somebody's crowd doesn't really, it doesn't give you any street cred or anything like that. It's not like, oh, I was part of Dean's crowd. Now I'm part of Dave's crowd. Yes. So what? I mean, it's all about a community that we're building together. And there's no competition in that, which is another very, very cool aspect of this. And I'll touch on this real quick. Yeah, sure. I don't know if David's going to come back, so I'll steal all of his thunder here. Sure. I'll laugh at this afterwards. So what happens in the current model today is you do have the artists that will try and put it out on their own website exclusively for a period of time. And people have asked, they said, well, I mean, if I sell it on Crowd, I'm going to get 40 cents, which is, like I said, 10 times more than what they used to make at 4 cents. Okay. But they go, well, I can put it on my own website and just promote it myself, and I can make the whole $1. And it's like, great. But without a large advertising budget, who's doing the advertising? You got to spend the money yourself to try and capture that whole $1, which, go ahead and do that. That's a great thing for you. We won't, stop you from doing that. But what happens in the normal market today is the artist that goes out and says, I'm putting my music exclusively on my own website, they're standing on an island. And what makes Crowd different is instead of everybody else being my competition, now they're my allies, because when I release an exclusive song, I'm telling my fan base, hey, I'm releasing an exclusive song on Crowd. And because I believe my music has value and I know you value it, and so I'm asking you to buy it. I mean, for the price of a cup of coffee, I always, use as an example, you can buy several songs. So come over here, buy a song or two, or buy my exclusive single. And while you're there, check out some of the other great artists on the platform that are also pre-releasing exclusive music that you can't find anywhere else. So now you've got the artists actually helping each other. Well, you wouldn't do that in today's world. In the normal environment, you wouldn't say, hey, come to my website. And when you're done, go to my friend's website and go to that website and spend all your money over there, because, I might want to help my friends a little bit, but I want to make sure you're spending your music dollars on my website. You're my fan. I want you over here. And that makes Crowd different, is that I have an incentive to now tell you, hey, buy my music first, but buy everybody else's music as well, because I make a little bit of piece of that. Yes. So that's what's really going to drive and propel this and help artists and, get us to a place where, we're paying enough people enough to grow that initial crowd with us, that the other 5.3 billion people on the planet that, again, have one of these will come and buy the music because, like my nieces, hey, my favorite artist releases a tune. Yeah. I'm not going to wait for it. I'm going to come over and pay $1 for it.
So, Mike, as we wrap up, I got two other important pieces. Sure. Number one, the actual website. Where does that fit in as far as a new fan? I got it right here on the screen. Yep. What's the process if someone goes to the website? Because you only have basically 3 tabs: music, White Crowd, and get the app.
Yep, exactly. So basically, it's going to be, artists or other fans directing them to the platform. And our app is being updated. I mean, even though, like I said, we just soft launched it this last week. Yeah. We're already doing some things to make the whole sharing process even easier. Because right now, the way it works, if you were to purchase a song and you go through the checkout process, it's going to ask you for that referral code that I shared with you. And so, a lot of people said, well, if there's not an incentive for me to put in the referral code of the person that sent it to me, I might just bypass. I might just leave that box blank, So we said, okay, so how do we get folks over and just download the app first? So the the new change that's coming here, within probably the next week is going to be that when I share it, it's telling me, hey, go over here, download the Crowd Music app. You're going to get some freebies and some explanation videos within the app that tells you about Crowd. But then from that point, then you go to the music page. So you'll notice we don't have a home page on the web.
Yes.
The home page is the music page. So if you click on that real quick there, wait for that to come up, and then you can scroll down.
Yeah.
And so as you scroll down, you'll see all the individual artists that are there.
So I can click on any one of these artists, right?
Yeah, correct. So pick one of those artists there. If you click on them, it'll take you to their page. Okay. So that's actually Val B. King. That's BB King's granddaughter.
So you does Crowd Music design these pages or what?
Yes. So we just ask the artist to send us in their artwork, their photos, and then we'll get their bio from them.
Free of cost?
Free of cost. There's no cost for the artist to do that. If they got to be good enough to get on the platform. So if they're good enough, we're going to treat them, basically just like a label would treat them. Only we're not taking their money.
Amazing. And where's the purchase?
So then if you go there where it says "Get Music from this artist" on the left there, that blue button. If you were to click on that, that'll take you directly to her page in the store. So if you click "Add to Cart," then it's going to put her music up in the shopping cart, and then you'll just go up there into your shopping cart to check out.
Beautiful.
And there it is. And then when you check out, the song will be there on you. You can access it on your computer through this website. Yeah. Or if you log in using the same code that you used to log in initially, if you log in on the mobile app, the song will already be right there on your mobile app for you as well.
So this is basically downloads and not a stream.
It is a stream. So different than streaming the way we think of the word streaming right now. So streaming to us today is I listen to all I want and the artist isn't making anything.
Right.
This is I equate it to when that movie comes out of the theater and you're on your cable provider and your cable provider says, hey, the latest Avengers movie just came out. You can own it for $19.99, or you can rent it for $3.99 for 48 hours. And you go, okay, maybe I'll rent it, for one time, or maybe I'll purchase it for $19.99, or maybe I'll wait for it to be on Netflix where it's part of my subscription. Well, if I want it first, where it's still in that exclusive window, I buy it for $19.99. But it doesn't download onto my box. It's still stored in the cloud. I can watch it 1,000 times if I want to, but it's never going to be on my box. It's always stored by my cable provider in the cloud. That's what Crowd is doing with music. We're saying we're going to keep it here. You can access it. You got the convenience of streaming. And the reason for not downloading the files is because as hard as we keep looking and we keep talking to people that are really, really bright, and they say, we've got a way that somebody can download the music and they can't copy and pirate it. We've got it. It's protected. It's locked down. You can't do this. And then we take that over to other people that say they can break it, and they play around with it for a day or less, and they go, yeah, we can copy this.
So basically, Mike, the person has to own the music 100% or multiple owners? How do you assure, like what's the process with that? Because for me as a publisher, I would think that you're going to have people that have multiple copyright owners.
Right. So if they've got multiple owners that are involved, so when an artist submits a song to us, there's a detailed list that they go through, who owns this song, who's your publisher, who's your co-writers, who's basically entitled to what percentages, and that gets put in and embedded right into the coding of the music.
Is it a contract? Sorry, Mike. Is it a contract or just an email?
It's a contract. So there's a place on our website that we direct those artists that we look to accept, and they go through. They just fill that out right online, submit the music, and get us all that information.
So my last bit right here, Mike, is when are you going to begin the residuals? Like when would that all start? Because I don't know how big is the platform right now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we're at, several thousand people,
Okay.
that are, on the platform using it. And like I said, I mean,
That's pretty good, man.
yeah, well, and people that, that actually, when I told you, I mean, a year plus ago, people were paying to get involved. We didn't want to confuse people until we knew it was a smooth process. So
Yeah.
people that have found out about it to this point, it hasn't
I paid, Mike. I paid $70 to be.
Yeah, and there's going to be some reward for you down the road on that. Trust me, we're not going to, we don't take that lightly. The people that paid something that were in the game early, so
I appreciate that.
There's something coming down the road. But but for the folks that have found out about it here in the past week, we've done zero advertising. We haven't told them. We've tried to kind of hide the fact almost, but it's just
amazing.
Word gets out, and it's
Wow.
we say we didn't release the app; it escaped. So
It escaped.
Our app escaped, and the other companies are paying poverties. You got those two. So we want to make sure that that whole new share functioning is working. As soon as that happens, then everybody like yourself that was involved earlier, that paid the money to get into Crowd previously, an email is going to go out to those folks to explain, the changes that we've made, how it's going to work going forward, how you get your new code, and anybody that you've already brought into Crowd will automatically be connected to you. It's just a different coding tracking system that we had to use.
So, Mike, is there a specific number before you reach a place of residual? You didn't say what that number was, or when do you expect to start? Next year, December, or
I mean, our hope is, within a 6-month window. I mean,
nice.
maybe less. We would hit that point. So the good news, to folks is, and the big change from when you signed up is, you can now join for free, and everybody else you tell about it can join for free. So it makes it there's no resistance to building your crowd. Whereas before, you caught it, you saw the vision, and you said, I'm willing to put $70 towards this because I see where this thing can go.
Oh, yes.
But it was very difficult for people to tell all their friends, hey, let me try to explain this vision to you here in 30 seconds so that you'll spend $70. That wasn't happening. Now what I can just say to a friend, hey, this is a cool thing. It's taking care of artists. Here's the link. Download the app. When you get a second, watch one of the videos, learn more about it. There's some cool exclusive music over here. You say something, that short. Now it's very easy for people to do it and go, okay, now we start growing the crowd, even if they have no concept, which is probably, in my humble estimation, who knows on something like this, my guess would be probably 90% of the people that get involved are just coming to buy and support their favorite artist. Maybe they discover a new artist, and it's like, okay, this is cool. I understand that this is helping artists.
Right.
I mean, this whole COVID thing has really helped us because people now have a better understanding,
wow.
in the public of these artists aren't making any money. They don't make any money on their music, and the only way they were making money is if they toured, and now that's been yanked away from them.
And now you guys are live streaming as well, and that's I know that's basically not a public thing. It's exclusive, and it has to be right.
Yeah, so it's again. I mean, it's allowing the artists to monetize their performance, and the streaming quality and audio quality of what we had built.
Yes.
Again, I mean, 3 months ago when we were talking to artists about this, it's like, hey, if you're going to play like a really cool venue that has limited seating, or you're playing Royal Albert Hall over in London, but all your fans are back here in the US, and they go, I'd like to see that. I'll pay a couple dollars to see that.
Yes.
If you do it through the platforms that are out there today, be it, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, none of these platforms were built for high definition audio.
Right.
They were all just built to be, visual communication like this is.
Yes.
This is great for what we're doing, but if I try to play music through this live, it's going to be pretty terrible.
Well, yes.
And everybody just kind of goes, well, it is what it is.
Yes.
But when they see our platform and how it delivers, it's like, oh my gosh, I felt like they were here in my living room playing.
Wow. So, can you do 1080 streams through your platform?
Yeah, 1080p and stereo
1080p.
and
Nice.
stereo audio coming through. So we had people. We did our first couple shows last week, and these folks were putting it on their big screen TVs, putting it through their surround sound system.
And it's not pixelated, right?
Not pixelated at all. In fact, at the 1080p, we've got a little monitor that shows the one artist went for an hour and 22 minutes, and they didn't drop a single frame.
At all?
At all. Not one single frame drop.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mike.
So it's pretty cool.
So guys, wow, you have heard it, man. Crowd. So would you encourage them to just go to the website then, right? Crowdmusic.com?
Yeah. So if you've already downloaded the app, you're going to want to give people your referral code at this point in time. So,
okay, cool.
So you can just give them that, link.
So I could send it out in the email blast, Facebook text messages.
Yeah.
Is WhatsApp connected to that as well?
I believe if you have WhatsApp on your phone, it should show up. So because basically it's just pulling up whatever apps.
Oh, why won't they just look right now?
Yeah, take a look. I don't have WhatsApp, so I'm not cool enough for that.
No, I got family overseas, so that's why. Yeah. Okay, cool. So hit share, click share. Yep.
It's got your WhatsApp there.
Everything. Man,
yeah.
This is so exciting. So once they share it, then they'll basically see all of the links, and they can get to download the app and all that good stuff, right?
Correct.
Man, this is awesome. Mike, I cannot thank you and David enough, man. This is amazing. This was an amazing stream, very important as well.
Yeah.
And I will definitely be sending that out to my crowds and continue to build that. And I will begin to speak to some more of the artists. I did speak to David many times and trying to create, because me being from the Caribbean, I have a lot of Caribbean connections as well.
Nice.
And it would be good if perhaps, let's say and maybe I shouldn't be talking about this on the air, but we did talk about sort of being one of the lead persons over that region,
right?
Because they're different crowds and they're different people that can come on the platform as long as they are approved. And I really love it with all my heart from day one, and that's why I invested, because the minute you guys explained it and I went to the website and I'm like, what, residual income? That's just crazy.
Right.
And 40% goes in my pocket, 40% goes to the fan. Are you kidding me? And all you guys are taking is just 20%. That is amazing, and I cannot thank you enough. So guys, you're going to definitely get an email from me or a message from me once we get to that place. And as Lydia is on right now, we're going to talk about, Lydia, how we can get you in this great program, and hopefully you get approved. David and Mike, you guys know my reputation. I try not to mess with mediocre stuff. Quality is important, especially when you are doing it from a standpoint of trying to build a crowd. You want to make sure that the content is good. You want to make sure that the quality is at its best.
Right.
And I cannot thank you enough, man. Thank you so much, Mike.
Dean, thanks for having us on this. This has been a blast.
And I'll text David later on and say, thanks for saying bye, David.
Well, we've been getting these storms through here the past 2 nights, and I know he was in his yard. He had to cut some branches, some limbs off some trees that had broken off and were leaning into the side of his house today. So
really,
so hopefully his power didn't get knocked out here. I see the lightning going in the background behind me here.
Wow. David, have an amazing night, and thank you so much. Okay, buddy?
All right. Thanks so much, Dean. You have a great one.
You too, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.